All right, this is not the show anyone wanted to have, but we're going to have it. Uh, Horrific end to October. No way around it. Uh, Bled all the way down to 107, almost hit 106 before we came on the air. Alts absolutely brutally fried. Mr. FOMO, several months ago, this is not what we envisioned. We were hoping to sell for profits this late. There's no profits to be made. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong if you bought a long time ago, but the alts have kind of died off. Hopefully, if you got into Bitcoin before we hit 30K, like we told you to, you still have plenty of profits to take. The question is, when do you do it? But brutal month overall. No way to sugar thing, as they used to say back in the old days. This sucks. So the question is, what do you do from here? Are you surprised of how long this? We had that big dump a few weeks ago. I really thought we would recover much faster, have some kind of run leading into November. But this has been brutal. No way around it. What's your reaction to the market just being dead here right now?
Alt season is over. It is done. There is no alt season to be had. At least not the alt season that we've been used to having for the last two cycles. So it's unfortunate, but when you look at a month like October, or Pumptober as we called it, and you see that it's going to be red, it's not a good sign. And we're more than 18 months out past the halving event. Generally, that's a bad sign for Bitcoin and the alt seasons and pumping. Usually that triggers a downturn and a sort of a market swoon into crypto winter. And so, unfortunately, I have nothing good to say about this except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only one that performed for us throughout this bull run, and the only one that performed relatively.
A little bit. ETH did start under 2K. Yeah, ETH. You could have gotten ETH well at 1,600 several times. Not a huge money maker. So here are your options. You could, as you're watching the show, please do your own research. I'm not saying to do this. You could sell right now. If you think things are only going to get worse the rest of the year, you could sell, take your profits, take what you got. You could do, and I can't speak for yourself. I'm still waiting a little bit here. Now, my magic number, if we get anywhere below 100K this weekend, for me, it's not worth holding on to at that point, because then I don't think we're going to get that far below 100K, but 80K, 85 is not completely out of the question the next few months if things go horribly bad. There is still a path towards one more Bitcoin pump. But when I say pump, it might mean 120, 125, 130. I think it's tough for me to envision a 150 to 180 before January 1st. And then you're holding on in 2026, hoping that the cycles have basically been completely broken and that this is like a long, extended, short run, which is possible. I mean, like you said, if you think alt season is over, that might mean the Bitcoin cycle has been drastically changed. So that might mean, yes, there is a bear market coming, but it's much shorter than before. It's not as drastic. You're not looking at a 40% dump from now back to 70K or 65, dare I say. You're looking more something like an 80 to 75, and then a slow rise all the way up to 200 to 250 for the next few years. It just depends on what you want to do. If you've made a lot of profits in Bitcoin, probably in the next 7 to 10 days, you want to have an exit plan. Again, do your own research. And there's a number that you don't want to go. Maybe for you, that's 106. Maybe for you, that's 105. Maybe it was 110, and you're seeing this at 107 as we speak and say, you know what? I'm out. If we get another pump and we go back to 140, 150, I'm not going to chase. Because eventually Bitcoin will have even if it does pump to 150, it'll retrace again. Maybe not to 107, maybe to 125. Who knows? It's kind of just your preference. But yeah, the reality is, if you think alt season is over, you're probably going to want to sell your alt sooner rather than later, because we know things can get much, much worse on that end. You think it's bad now?
Yes.
3 months from
And
now,
crypto
it'd be
winter
ridiculous.
is coming. It's not, this is not going away, not anytime soon, not in the next couple of cycles.
But they also get hit much harder than
Much
Bitcoin.
harder than
They
Bitcoin.
always do.
You'll see Bitcoin maybe take a 40 to 50% swoon during this crypto winter, but you'll see alts take some of them 90, 95% falls.
I don't think Bitcoin's taking a 50% dump from 107. I would be shocked
We'll see.
if we see that. I don't. You think we're going below our last all-time high in the 60s? I don't see us ever going down to the 50s again. It would take a catastrophic, dare I say, world event. 50K is, to me, I don't see
in
it.
crypto
The
winter
moving average
with the way that the politics in the world are going now, and a crypto winter coupled with that, I could definitely see it.
I still think, I could be dead wrong. Next week, you'll see some movement to the upside. It could be a dead cat bounce. If we do get
Full
back
track.
into the 120s, that might be a great exit. That might be a great exit. There are just no signs that we're going to have. I mean, I've always said by Thanksgiving, you want to be completely out of everything. That's 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
But realistically, usually October is the best time. We had that run to 126 earlier in the month, and things have just gone down since. There's just been a lack of momentum. You see right now, 107. I'm really interested to see the next 48 hours. If we can reclaim 110, that would be a great sign. If we can't, man, it looks bad. It looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I can't. If we're still struggling a week from now, I can't say for sure, but I'm probably looking to get out at that point. Unless, again, you're just holding Bitcoin for the next 8 to 12 years. That's different. But if you're trying to take profits and we're still struggling a week from now, you got to seriously consider an exit plan. Everyone's different, right? You got to make decisions for yourself, but you got to be proactive here, and you can't just assume things are going to be better.
That's right. You've got to make your own moves in this market. And if you are waiting for us to tell you, waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do, you're doing the wrong thing. You've got to do your own research. We can be part of your research, but as you know, as a savvy investor, you need to be making your own moves. You don't want to be waiting for some YouTuber to tell you when to do what.
So,
you know, your portfolio is your portfolio, and your preferences and your risk aversion is yours. So it's up to you to make those decisions.
And I think what I'll do is I'll go live this weekend, maybe Sunday, do a quick short, and give everyone an update. I know we have been going twice a week. The reality is there hasn't been much to talk about. It's the same show over and over. Yeah, we could do shows every day, but what is there to say? You know, the China-US did strike a temporary deal, like they're not going to do anything for a year. We got news today that Coinbase bought a bunch of Bitcoin in its reserve. That's great. That's good. But market, right? So Coinbase bought almost 300 million. I'll show you right here. Stuff, right? It's not moving the market, right? It's just you get a small pump for an hour and then you just go back down. And you've talked about this before. Once you get Bitcoin's gone so high now, it takes a lot of capital to move up too. And a lot of retail is just, they're not only are they not buying alts, a lot of people think they've missed the Bitcoin run since they didn't buy at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So now they think like you, well, maybe I'll buy at 80, maybe I'll buy at 75. I still think there's a chance for some FOMO in the next couple of weeks leading into Thanksgiving, but I'm not confident anymore. I still, if you said, you know, you have to make a decision, do we see some green before now and Thanksgiving? I will say yes. However, I'm not at like a 90% like I was before. I'm more like a 70, 65%, to be honest. And so for me, if we're sitting in the first week of November and nothing has gone positive, I mean, it's going to be tough. And I think if we do get back to the 120s as a dead cat bounce, kind of a fake bounce, you got to consider, do I take the risk of staying in, right? Because profits are profits, and there will be chances to get back in. Alts, I've heard people say there's only two scenarios, really, that all the influencers. Either we have a mega pump in the next 3 months at some point, or they're dead forever, or it's changed forever. And I kind of think this space is now dying for regulation and clarity. It sounds crazy to say, but there's too many coins. Most of them mean nothing. The ones that do mean something, like Avalanche, are not pumping. Despite having real world utility, it's not meaning anything. So until that changes, it becomes more. NVIDIA means something, right? Because they have the technology. Well, if Avalanche is tokenizing everything for the state of New Jersey and no one's buying it, and people are buying other stuff for a day and then selling it, that's a problem. That's not a serious space. In fact, and I've talked to you about this before, should we, and listeners give us this feedback, should we change the show to teaching Bitcoin and world events and get rid of the word crypto? Because crypto, I think, is transitioning into something different. That's the future is stable coins and tokenization of real world assets. We haven't gotten there yet, right? That's coming over the next 5 to 10 years, maybe sooner, maybe the 2 to 5 years, but that'll transition the industry into something more relevant and more real. Right now, we're stuck in the old days, right? We're like that teacher that's still using the photocopy and passing on handouts instead of using technology. That's what it feels like. Crypto is still stuck in its, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't evolved quickly enough for me. And that's not what shows like this are supposed to say, but that's the reality.
Well, really, it's the average investor in crypto that hasn't evolved. You still have a majority of us are degen gamblers who are looking for that next pump of, that 1000x.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're willing to throw money at all these ridiculous coins and all these meme coins when in reality they have no value. But because there's a chance that, a lottery ticket that they could pump, you've got all these degen gamblers just dumping money into these bad coins and these meme coins when they should be looking for quality projects to invest in. But really, it's the investors, the average investor, that needs to evolve. We're not going to get regulation out of this administration. That's not coming anytime soon. They're all about deregulation.
Quick profits, profiting for themselves.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But so that's not coming anytime soon. So what we need to do is, as investors, is to start evolving and maturing as investors and crypto investors, and start to look for things that actually mean something.
But that's not what the space. That's not the type of people that's not the mentality right now in the space, except for the Bitcoin holders, the maxis. Everyone else, no. Everyone else, no. We'll see if that changes. I mean, I haven't completely given up. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm absolutely nuts. What about Solana and XRP? Polly, thank you for tuning in. I mean, they need Bitcoin to pump. They're not going to pump on their own. You're not going to see Bitcoin go down to 100 and XRP take a mark to $6. That's, again, deep inside, I still think there's something left here. Deep inside. This is like when your team's trailing by 20 with 5 minutes to go, and you may not win the game, but maybe you can just cover the spread and only lose by 10. I mean, my 150 to 180 is looking horrific. I got to take it on the chin here. I mean, if Bitcoin makes it back to 120, 125, you'll see Solana XRP move up a little bit. But is it going to be a dramatic? Is Solana going to 500? Is XRP going to $67? It's tough to say yes at this point. We'd be lying to you if we said yes. Let's see what happens.
Those are still great projects. Are critical. I think these are still great projects, right?
Listen,
like we're not.
Long term, I think they'll be fine. Like long term, I think they're going to be fine. But do you want to be holding them in the bear when they retrace 50 to 80%? I don't know. Probably not. So here's the thing. Keep it here. I'll do a short this weekend because I do think the next 48 hours we're going to be in November. I do think there's going to be something's going to have to change fast. Like this is the fourth quarter of the bull run. Something's going to have to change fast. So if we keep, something isn't right. the bull run was manipulated. Unfortunately, sadly, this administration cared a lot more about making their own money than I'm not blaming it all on them. But the tariffs weren't great. I mean,
Right.
this was a normal administration. There were no tariffs. These guys weren't creating their own coins. I think things would have been different. I'm just saying. I think things would have been different. We wouldn't have gone high as quick. We wouldn't have gone to 100K as fast a year ago. But I don't think we would have had all this negativity. I mean, there's been so much negative news anytime there's been momentum, and then people just get liquidated over and over. Too many coins. We've talked about this a million times. May would have been the same thing with a different regime. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That something's not right because things have changed. And in life,
too many coins
you
really
gotta adapt.
is what
You got to adapt, right? You're used to certain things, right? I mean, I wish YouTube TV sold NBA League Pass so I could watch that with my NFL. That's not, but I mean, everything changes in life. Your kids get older, your relationship change at work, right? Everything changes, and you got to adapt. So you got to adapt and say, all right, and this show will adapt if it wants to survive. Right, we're gonna have to think of other things to say, because if people are not going to make money buying alts, they're not going to buy them. But maybe that's kind of what the space needs. When it needs a reset, like you've talked about. We'll see what happens. Keep it here.
That's exactly what I think it needs. I think it needs to go into a crypto.
And that sucks though, because people won't make
these
money.
projects just
a lot of people that plan to make
dead.
money only made it in Bitcoin, like you said. It didn't make as much. Keep it here over the next 48 hours. I will do a short updating, and we'll be back next week, hopefully earlier in the week. And hopefully we got some good news. But we gave you the truth. This is a show not like any other. So please share it all over, because a lot of people are spreading hopium that's not there. Please hit that like and subscribe button for MrFOMO.